So, a company has projected the following information over the next 3 years. This is what their statement looks like for the next 3 years, their forecast. And after year three, the company is going to anticipate a growing free cash flow at a rate of 4% per year indefinitely. If the weighted average cost of capital is 13%, then what's the value of the firm? So we got everything up here: the sales, the cost, depreciation, your earnings before interest and tax. That's what EBIT is. Taxes, 34%, your capital expenditures, and your change in net working capital. So what I did, just basically, I drew a little arrow going up and I put a plus because you're going to add these two numbers together. And then you're going to come and subtract off everything else. So it's plus going up and subtraction going down. Once you do all that, the totals that you get for year one will be 31.35. Year two will be 38.425. Year three will be 39.65. That's all cash. It's what we call our free cash flow to the firm. And the only thing, like, you don't even need the rest of this year one, two, and three. So we take all of this out, right? And then we go from EBIT up to the depreciation. And then that's the first two. Those two are knocked out. And then we subtract everything else. And you do that for each of the years. And those are the totals that you come up with. So then next you have to find the present value of those cash flows. Because what this is basically saying is that from these numbers that we calculated here, this is how much money we expect for it to make. But then you have to discount it back to the present, because cash, the time value of money, says that money depreciates in value as you go further in the future. All right, so once you got your cash flows figured out, these are your cash flows for each year. 1, 2, and 3. These numbers right here, I drew little buttons around them because that's what you're going to need when you get ready to put it into your calculator. This G star right here is the growth rate. So we're saying it's going to grow at 4% per year indefinitely. This little decimal right here that I put in parentheses is to remind me that we're going to have to add this at the end, because that's a rate. So after year three, which this is year three, then we're going to calculate a growth rate of 4% per year indefinitely. Now, our weighted average cost of capital is 13%. All right. So normally what I do is I can put a 1 and a 2, and then I'll put like a 1 right there. And that's just to remind me that I'm going to have to use that twice into the equation. All right. So once I actually put this into the calculator, your N is going to be 1, 2, or 3. Your cash flow that you calculated on the last one is 31.35. year 2, 38.425, year 3, 39.65. Then you want to get the present value. So the cash flows is the future value. You want to get the present value. To get the present value, you have to hit alpha enter on the calculator once you got these other two values right here in. And then what that'll do is give you the present value of that cash flow. So in this case, the cash flow that you really get from the first year is 27.74, not 31.35. Same thing for year 2. Put the year 2 in, you put the cash flow into the future value, and your present value of that of 38,425 is only 30.09. So once I do that for each of the years, then I add them together. And these three right here that's added together all equal 85.31 thousand. And that's in cash flow for 3 years. All right. Now, I go back to this third year right here where we have this growth rate. When we calculate the growth rate for the third year, we're saying it's going to grow at 4% per year indefinitely. So what we have to do is take that last cash flow of the third year, multiply it by the growth rate, and then divide it by a weighted average cost of capital minus our growth rate, and then add in our growth rate. And that comes out to a terminal value of 458.217 thousand. That's our terminal value. So then we have to find the present value of our terminal value. So once we do that, we put in the same year, 3. We put in our present value as our future value, which would be this. And then we hit the alpha enter on PV in order to find out what our present value is of our terminal value. Okay. And then once you get that, you take that with your answer that you got down here, which is your present value of that terminal value, and you add these two together. And that will give you the total value of your firm.